engaged. I don't know if any of you have ever engaged in vision boards, in visualizing your future, because the power of that is extraordinary. So any of you who have crazy, wild, amazing, wonderful dreams, dream big, push it onto a board, make it your screensaver on your telephone, because I can assure you nothing is ever achieved unless truly first imagined. What do I mean by that? Michelangelo, when he created the statue of David, do you think he went in there with a massive sledgehammer and smashed that thing? Or did he take a little implement, a little chisel, a little hammer, and start chipping away? But that vision was in his mind before he started chipping away. Okay. The fourth one that I want you to take on board is one person, one opportunity can change your life for the rest of your life. One person, one opportunity can change your life for the rest of your life. Why? Because you showed up. Why? Because you made a difference. Why? Because you put your best foot forward. Think about this. Not only that, you as individuals can be the change in someone's life. You yourself can be that change. You yourself may end up mentoring thousands, hundreds of people, and you may not even know it, because they're looking up to you, they're following you, they're taking on board every step that you've taken, and they're trying to emulate what you've achieved or what you're achieving or what you're doing. So please understand the power of you taking on board, I am my brand. Okay. And by the way, if there are any questions, as I said, I'd love to answer. I would love to answer questions at the end of this session. Okay. Please think of any questions. All right. So I would love to ask you all a question. What is your personal brand? So for me, your personal brand is very much how you promote yourself to the outside world. Okay. Your unique combination of skills, experience, and your personality. Okay. Your personal brand really encompasses everything that affects how people actually see you. Okay. So those are your characteristics. What are your values? What are you passionate about? Okay. On that note, are you kind? Are you empathetic? Because I can assure all of you right now, this organization was never ever put together on so-called British principles, blah, 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 posh etiquette and manners. Oh, yes. None of that. Wrong answer. None of that. This was put together about working with people, guiding people, and giving people the confidence and the tools to put their best foot forward. So this was very much, someone once asked me, they said, Philip, why the British School of Etiquette? And I said, well, I'll give you 4 reasons why, what this is all about. Firstly, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Number 1. Number 2, it's having a what can I do for you attitude. How can I support you? How can I help you? What can I do for you? Okay. Number 3 was very much about the ability to put people at ease in a very short space of time. That ability to make people feel comfortable in your surroundings. Think of welcoming someone into your home, entertaining somebody. That ability to put people at ease in a short space of time. And number 4, if we all go out there and do an amazing random act of goodness, a random act of kindness on a regular daily basis, I truly believe we may set the world in the right direction. Okay. Now, all of us, me included, we're all very privileged to, you're very privileged to be sitting in those chairs. I'm very privileged to be sitting not too far away from you, but in the United Kingdom. I feel hugely privileged. And there's one thing I do every single day, all of you, and that is go on a gratitude journey. I absolutely 100% go on a gratitude journey. And just by a show of hands, how many of you understand the power of gratitude? Just by a show of hands, how many of you actually understand the power of gratitude? Okay, great, thank you. How many of you actually practice gratitude? How many of you actually practice gratitude? Lovely. So for those of you who don't, that's okay. But I want to give you some skills and some tools. I want you every day when you wake up to write down 3 things that you're grateful for. It could be this amazing glass of water. It could be for a roof over your head, the beautiful warm bed you slept in. 3 amazing things that you are absolutely grateful for each day. I want you to also write down a daily affirmation to yourself. So on our Mindset Manners program, we coach and guide our teenagers to create very proactive, very present, very real affirmations for themselves. I then want you to write down 3 things that would make this day really great. What 3 things are going to make your day amazing? Then when you get home at night, write down 3 amazing things that happened to you. Could have been a friend bought you a coffee at the cafeteria, someone recommended a book to you, someone just gave you a really lovely compliment or a nice smile in a corridor, whatever it might be. And then one big question is, how could I have made today even better? How could I have made today even better? Ask yourself that amazing question, all right? Because everything in life is about being better than you were yesterday. I don't want any of you wonderful, amazing people to try and be perfect, because perfection does not exist in human beings. We mess up, we slip up, we make mistakes, but we can learn from that and we can move on. Be better than you were yesterday. Have that as your motto. Do something extraordinary every single day, okay? And going back to the scenario of branding, why do we need that personal brand? Because at the end of the day, it puts you in control of how you are depicted, how you are seen. It helps you stand out from others and makes you memorable, and it makes you unique. Now, as you all know, as I mentioned earlier, in this fast-paced world of digitization, in a digital world, anyone can search you on the internet right across the board. So any of you out there think you can, no disrespect, flash your boobs, do a brown eye, whatever you want to do in a crazy moment, and you put that up on the internet, that'll be found, unfortunately. And that could destroy you in a second flat. And here's a story I would love to share with you. Many years ago, I was working with an amazing young lady from Singapore. Her dad was the director for one of the top consultancy firms. I don't know if it was KPMG or Deloitte or whoever it was, but he was ready to promote a young 24-year-old to another position. And he asked his PA to just do some background checks on this youngster. And she went through his social media, checked everything out, and there he was with a couple of mates in the pub one evening, and he was saying something derogatory about the organization. And it was on and exposed on the internet. So obviously he didn't get the promotion. I don't even know if his job lasted. But the bottom line is, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I can share horror stories with you about how people have got this close to the greatest success of their lives, and then boom, something tripped them up because of a social media error. So think before you click and pause before you post. Please, please, I'm sure this is drummed into all of you. If there are people out there that are aggravating you, revving your motor and getting under your skin, don't fire away with verbal typing or verbal as in voice, okay? Rather confront that individual face on or say nothing. Because I promise you, unfortunately, you'll end up tripping yourself up, all right? So going back to the personal branding, it gives you that opportunity to highlight your strengths and your passions. Rather use your social media for that. And by the way, amazing young people, never be afraid to shout out from the rooftops. Never be afraid to shout out from the rooftops about who you are, what you do. I'm not saying being arrogant. Don't be an arrogant twit, because arrogance does not go far, trust me. But just be out there, letting people know that you've completed X, Y, and Z grades at school. You went on to X university and you did ABC. You studied blah, 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 and you went on it. You've got to let people know who you are in this fast-paced world. Trust me, because I promise you right now, there's no one, and I've got these lovely youngsters here in front of me. One of you, there's no one standing behind you saying, hey, he's a great guy. You've got to take him on. He's a top draw man. There's no one doing that. There's no advocate for you. Okay, but you can create advocates for yourself. So how many of you, by a show of hands, have got Apple iPhones? All right. All right. Now, I've got a Samsung. So I say to one of you guys, hey, tell me, I want to get rid of my Samsung. What do you think of Apple? And one of you says, oh, Philip, it's got an amazing camera, blah, blah, blah. One of you says it's easy to sync with your Apple products. Another one of you says it's easy to surf. And you continue raving about Apple. And you know what's happening, beautiful people? Ooh, baby. Apple's loving you. Yeehaw, baby. They are just embracing you. That's all they're doing, because you have become an advocate for Apple iPhone. You've become an advocate for the Apple product, right? So let other people become your advocates. Get out there and let other people start to promote you. But you can only do that by you putting your best foot forward, okay? It really does. I tell you something right now, people are going to be looking out for dynamic people. And I don't know if you're aware or not, okay? I don't know if you're aware or not, but I would love to share with you. Is anyone out of the interest, just by a show of hands, any one of you aware of the fourth industrial revolution? Are you aware that we're in the fourth industrial revolution? Yeah, absolutely. All of you guys, I bet you your technology skills, your technical skills are phenomenal. And recently I was doing some studying on the vital skills that are needed for the future. Okay, you lot. And the frightening thing is, you amazing youngsters, the jobs that you might land up doing don't even exist yet. And when you have, well, I've got a young 7-year-old, when my 7-year-old gets into potentially your shoes at studying and going to grade school and university, the jobs that he's going to land up doing, unless he wants to be a chef or a hotelier, but a lot of the jobs do not exist. So in this fourth industrial revolution, we as human beings, there's one beautiful thing we have, and that we are human beings. All right. And so the skills that all of us are going to need, and I really want you to take note of this. The first one is creativity. All right. You need to have creative mindsets. You need to be thinking not today, thinking for the future. Creativity. All right. Human workers in the future will need to be so creative and really understand that they need to put their best foot forward. Robots are, they can't compete with human beings on creativity. So understand the importance of creativity. The second one, how many of you have heard of emotional intelligence? EQ, emotional intelligence. All right, great. For those of you who haven't, and for those of you who have, please, I'm begging all of you to start reading up on EQ, emotional intelligence. I would imagine a lot of you have got very high IQs. But with all due respect, IQ you can't really build and grow on. But an EQ, your emotional intelligence, your EQ is something that you can 100% develop and grow. And EQ comprises of 5 areas: your self-awareness, emotional management, self-motivation, empathy, and social skills. So I want you to understand the importance and the power of your EQ, because this is going to stand you and make, and I promise you right now, leading with emotional intelligence is going to be a key indicator and a key area that all of you, if you take on board, you will see yourself move through the ladder. You will see yourself go forward and really create unbelievable heights. The third one that is fundamental is that analytical, creative and analytical, critical thinking, everybody. A person with critical thinking skills can suggest innovative solutions and ideas. You can solve complex problems using reasoning and logic and evaluate arguments. And this is fundamental. So that's number 3 that the World Economic Forum spoke about. Number 4 was active learning with an amazing growth mindset. A growth mindset. Be open-minded to change. Think about having an incredible growth mindset. Oh, I can't do this. I'm not good at maths. I'm not very good at athletics. Hey, I'm going to try and be a better athlete. I'm going to try and be better at mathematics, or whatever it might be. But I want you to understand the importance of a growth mindset. You're going to need to be very good judgment and decision makers. You need to judge people clearly. And I don't mean judge. How quickly do you think we judge somebody, ladies and gentlemen? Is it a minute? How many of you reckon we judge someone within a minute? Okay. How many of you think we judge someone within 30 seconds? How many do you think we judge someone within 3 to 6 seconds? Yeah, baby. 3 to 6 seconds. That's how quickly we judge somebody. We shouldn't. I'm sure you've all heard the cliche and adage in life, never judge a book by its cover, because once you get into that book, you go, whew, that's an amazing book. Why did I judge it? I bet you we've all misjudged somebody, and that person's ended up being a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend, or whatever it is in life, okay? We make mistakes, but I really urge you not to go out and judge people. Don't always try and put your feet in someone else's shoes. But when I talk about making judgment and decision making, I'm talking making a clear judgment in the commercial world, because computers and tech and bots won't be able to make that same judgment call and decision that you as a human being can make. Number 6, and here it comes, is interpersonal communication skills. Understand the relevance in talking to one another. Communication, ladies and gentlemen, is not texting someone or whatever it might be on social media. I'm talking verbal, amazing, interpersonal communication skills. And when I talk about interpersonal communication skills, okay, I know I can't really get input from any of you right now, but I want you to realize that actually only 7% of our spoken word counts. 38% is our tonality, and 55% is how you present yourself, your body language. So be careful, it's what you say, what you don't say that actually counts. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, if I ask any of you, one of you walk down in the morning on holiday down to the breakfast table and your mum says, "Hey, Michael, what's wrong?" "Nothing, I'm fine." "Michael, what's wrong?" "I'm fine," I said. Tonality, boom, irritability, and mum knows you so damn well. She's read your body language. She knows that Michael's just bust up with his girlfriend or whatever it might be. Trust me, our body language is so powerful. You have no idea. And there's something fascinating. How many of you believe that your mindset can change the shape of your body, and that the shape of your body can change your mindset? Okay, that is 150% true. Here's the analogy. What does a runner, so I bet you all of you have heard of, who's the guy who does that when he's finished his, I know he's retired, but who was that? Usain Bolt, right? Usain Bolt, when he finished, that was his signature. But what does a runner do when they cross the tape? The chin is forward, the arms are up in the air. There's incredible rejoicing, adrenaline. Do you know that a blind person that's never, ever seen a runner complete a race like that, when a blind person runs a race, they also cross the finishing line like that? It is innate in us as human beings. So if you look at the animal kingdom, what does a lion do when it's getting aggressive and it's about to attack? It makes itself bigger. Any of you got cats at home? What does a cat do when it starts to get ferocious and protect itself? It makes itself huge. A snake, when it's going to rear and strike. But what do these animals do when they are petrified? They make themselves smaller. We as human beings do exactly the same thing. Okay, so any of you going for interviews next or whatever it is, go and stand in the loo like this for 2 minutes. People might think you're completely bonkers. Stand there for 2 minutes, talking to yourself, saying, "I've got this, I'm prepared, I'm feeling amazing, I'm great." Because what you're going to do is you're going to pump up the adrenaline and you're going to knock the cortisol down. All right, trust me, this is powerful, powerful stuff. There's an amazing woman out there that I would love you to follow on TED Talks called Amy Cuddy. She talks exactly about what I'm sharing with you right now, okay? Look her up on TED Talks, Amy Cuddy, all right? So your interpersonal communication skills are going to be so fundamental and powerful. They genuinely are. Think about it. Your leadership skills. You know, this is something that leadership is something that you want to inspire to. You want to help others become the best version of themselves. It'll be necessary for the future of work. We need to grow people with us. We don't need to poo-poo and put people down and bully people. So this is all part of your makeup, okay? We all know how important diversity and cultural intelligence is. This is a fundamental rhythm and drumbeat I want you to understand, okay? You need to understand the importance of this. Culture, language, age, gender, sexual orientation, political and religious beliefs. The ability to understand and adapt to others who might have different ways of perceiving the world will not only improve how people interact with the company or you, but it's also likely to make you or the organization far more dynamic and far more successful. Okay, the number 9 on the World Economic Forum list was technology skills, which I'm sure hopefully most of you are proficient at. And the final one that was fundamentally spelled out was embracing change. We need to embrace change. We have to. And due to the speed of the changing future, the workplace, people, we will have to be agile and we'll need to embrace and celebrate change. Not only will our brains need to be flexible, but we also need to be adaptable as we are required to adjust to the shifting workplaces, expectations, and skill sets. An essential skill, the fourth industrial revolution, will be that ability to see change, not as a burden, but as an opportunity for you all to grow and succeed. Okay? So understand what I'm sharing with you is hugely, hugely powerful. Okay? And, you know, again, I think when it comes back to your social branding, your social and media and your branding yourself, I really want you to understand how important it is to get to know yourself. Really make an effort to get to know yourself thoroughly. Because a lot of people think, oh, I know myself. But when we dig deep, do we really, really get to know ourselves? Interestingly, what I'd love you to do, just out of interest, on our website, there's actually an EQ, 25 or 30 question. There's no obligation. You can fill out an amazing EQ test, which will give you a phenomenal insight into your self-awareness. It'll give you a phenomenal insight into your emotion management, your self-motivation, your empathy, and your social skills. It's complimentary. Fill it out. You'll get your results. It'll give you areas of where you need to work on. So please understand that getting to know yourself is one of the key indicators and key principles of growing up. It genuinely is, okay? And I think if you sort of have any business dreams or ideas, you need to know who you're going to target. You need to know how you need to position yourself. So by branding yourself correctly, you've got to build trust. And one of the key indicators of any brand I shared with asked all of you earlier on was, which brands do you follow? Who do you like and why? Is it because they're authentic? Is it because they have great morals? Is it because they make a difference to this world? And funny enough, I've got an amazing book somewhere here. Where are you? Oh, here it is. On my desk, and I will send Dale a copy of this book because it's a book that I think is phenomenal. It's called Do Purpose: Why Brands with Purpose Do Better and Matter More. All right. So all of you understand the importance of this. And I think for me, it's fundamental that when we come to sort of, asking ourselves and questioning ourselves, you've got to, as I said earlier, it's go back to what are my core values and what are my beliefs? And then how do I communicate these through my behavior, words, and actions? Because as I said earlier, right at the beginning, you are your brand. So if you're not authentic, if you don't put your best foot forward, how are you going to buy into someone who doesn't put their best foot forward? So imagine I was, no disrespect, but imagine I was a really big guy, obese. And I said, hey guys, you must do my weight program and my diet, it works. You're going to go, who's this cowboy? Okay, so please put your money where your mouth is, all right? I want you to ask yourselves as well, what brings you joy in life? What would wake you, when you wake up, what are you waking up to? What are you excited about? All right. Find out what people's pain points are out there, and you can build your brand about that. And I think everything that we do is fundamental. You must be able to put your money where your mouth is. This is a core key thing. Be genuine and be very, very clear on who you are and what you're about and why do you do what you do. All of you, I would love you if you have a chance to look at our YouTube channel. I talk about creating what is your purpose in life. Find out what your purpose and what your why is. Has any of you ever asked yourself that question? What is my why? What is my purpose? Because the moment you start to question yourself and ask yourself these questions, you're going to be able to really start to pinpoint and focus in on which direction you may want to go. And I think it's really important that, you need to ask these questions. You need to really dig deep into what your why and what your purpose is. It's fundamental. I do it regularly, and I worked with a coach not so long ago, and I came up with my why or my purpose statement. It was something that was really, really, really refreshing. It really put me in a position of honing in my vision and my focus. Okay. And, I think finally, what I'd love to sort of finish off with is your personal brand, as I said earlier, should be absolutely authentic. You need to be consistent in who you are, and you need to be very, very transparent in everything you do, And ladies and gentlemen, before I sort of really sort of tie this up and sort of bring it to a close to give you an opportunity to ask questions, there are two things that I want to ask you. Well, one question, but two things, two answers. What do you think the two most important things in the world are? Is it love? Is it money? Career? What is it? Do you think it's time? What about time? Time? And what about your health? All right. Yeah, time and health. So what I would love to do is I'd love to read something to all of you about time, okay? Because a lot of you spend a lot of time, and this is not me pointing a finger at any of you, the world over is guilty of it. How much time do you spend on your social media? Is it an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day? Okay, if it's 2 hours a day, times that by 7, right? 2 sevens are 14 hours. How many weeks in a year? 52? Work out how many days you're wasting on your social media, just scrolling through, flicking through, when you could be doing something very, very dynamic, educating yourself, going out there, doing something amazing. So here is something that I want to share with all of you. Each day you're given 86,400 seconds from the time bank. Everyone is given the same. There are no exceptions. Once you make that withdrawal, you're free to spend it as you want. The time bank won't tell you how to spend it. Time poorly spent will not be replaced with more time. Time doesn't do refunds. Time is your biggest gift. Indeed, it is more valuable than money, as you can make more money, but not more time. But there is one simple truth. Your time is limited, and one day you will go out to the bank and it won't have any more for you. And it will be at that exact moment that you will know the answer to this simple question. Did I use my time well? Did I do what mattered most to me? Did I find my love? And did I pursue it like a wild, hungry dog? So understand the power in those words and the power in that little, and that's from this book, by the way. That's something that's really stood out for me. So I will send Dale a copy of a picture of the cover of the book. If any of you are really excited about branding yourselves correctly, putting your best foot forward, finding your vision, your focus, your purpose, then I would urge you to pick that up. Okay, it really will make a huge difference in you as growing as youngsters, growing as teenagers, because right now the world is your oyster. You have got so much at your fingertips. You really and truly do. And I really can't stress enough. I'm passionate about seeing people in your shoes. You know, you are the future. You have got so much at your fingertips. I would imagine it's a very multicultural, multilingual school, and you're given such an amazing opportunity to go out there and make an amazing, amazing change. So, you know, from me to all of you, I want to leave you with these thoughts for you to ponder. And I do hope that if you didn't bring a pen and paper into the room today, then you can take some notes. I think Dale's going to hopefully have the recording of this, and it'll give you the opportunity to just maybe even re-listen to what I was sharing with you. And, you know, you can maybe then take those sort of notes. The one thing I would love to leave you with is sharing with you what my purpose statement was that I created when I was talking to my coach, and we've worked this through and we talked a lot of things through. And it really is something that I look back on, and I look every single day to sort of restructure. And can I improve my purpose statement? Can I make it slightly different? And I think for me, it very much is along the following lines. The purpose of my life is to be alive and joyful, to be present with energy and passion, to really embrace and appreciate those close to me, to learn and grow and work with people so that I can inspire and help them to live a fuller life, to love more abundantly, and to make a greater difference in this world now and forever. So I'd love to leave you with that. I worked long and hard on creating my purpose statement. It'll shift and change. It's got elasticity to it. But that is my purpose statement I would love to share with all of you. So hopefully I'm going to be leaving you with a few things to ponder on and a few things to sort of really reflect on and start working on. Start as you mean to go on, all of you, because I promise you right now, every single one of you in that room's got the most phenomenal potential. But you know what? That potential doesn't come to you. You've got to create it. You've got to push for it. You've got to go out there and nab it, because I can promise you one thing. If you're going to stand on the top of the hill with your mouth open and a duck is going to fly into it, I've got more chance of becoming pregnant. Trust me, it's never going to happen. Okay, it really isn't. You've got to go out there, and I love animals, but you got to shoot that duck, you got to wring its neck, and you got to throw it in the pot and cook it. That's the only way you're going to eat your duck. All right? So understand what I'm sharing with you. It's about you putting your best foot forward. Nothing in life comes free. Okay, it's up to you to go out there and embrace it with both hands. All right. So I'd love to ask if there are any questions. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your time. And I really appreciate you being here today. And Dale, thank you so much.
On the what? Tonality? What do you mean? What tonality is how you're expressing yourself? The tone that you use to express yourself, like when you're sitting at the table and you say to mom, ugh. No, seriously, it's the tone of your voice, the tonality of how you express yourself. Does anyone have any other questions to ask Philip? You're all okay? No specific questions to ask? Yes. What do you do on a daily basis, Philip? What do you do besides being here with us on a Skype call? What do you do?
Dale, it's very difficult for me to hear you. Sorry.
What do you do on a daily basis was the question. Do you hear me? Yep.
What I do on a daily basis. Wonderful question. I'm very blessed to work with some of the most incredible people around the world. So as an organization, I mentioned to earlier, we've got various products, Etiquette for young children, Mindset and Manners for teenagers. We run the Polished Professional for graduates and for people in business and people who want to put their best foot forward. We run a program called Train the Trainer, working with people who want to go out there and deliver these skills and these tools to people around the world. So we as an organization, we have over 180 people just in our alumni for Train the Trainer from all corners of the earth. And these are incredible people, mature adults who've been mums, dads, predominantly women, I have to say, which is phenomenal. I'm a big fan of women and respect women utmostly. We as an organization have expanded globally. We're in Bermuda, we're in Japan, we're in Pakistan, we're in India, we're in Benelux, we're in Poland, we're in Brazil, and we're hopefully soon to launch in Oman and Saudi Arabia. So, but on a daily basis, me personally, I get up every morning and I go on my gratitude journey, 150%. I was today just saying to myself, I'm so excited to engage and meet with Dale and all of you today. That was one of my things I was hugely grateful for today, and so forth. So I go on my gratitude journey. I plan my day. And my days are full of meetings, coaching, training. And before lockdown, I used to travel the world.
Thank you. Let me find another question. Anybody else? No?
Yes, young lady.
The question is do you have what would be motivational tips? Like to get motivated or to stay motivated, what would be motivational tips?
Okay, wonderful. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, tips you can pick up off the internet. I want to give you tools and skills, okay? Tools and skills. So when it comes to motivation, you have to be on a journey to do continued professional development. Unfortunately, I don't have a camera that I can move around my studio, but show me a successful man or woman and I will show you their library, okay? Show me a successful man or woman and I will show you their library. So all of you got digital devices. So I'm going to contradict myself. If you find something of value, and as you all know, just through YouTube, and there's so many amazing leaders and inspirational speakers out there who will guide you and steer you. If you, look at Simon Sinek's a great one. I don't know, you may like him, you may not, but look for people who really, you connect with, people you click with, and people you trust, and you look at their authenticity. That's number one. Number two, I said earlier on, surround yourself with very positive people and surround yourself with people better than you and search for mentors, people who can guide you and steer you. But every single day I get up and I meditate for a little bit. I go for a run every day. That helps me with my mindset, especially in the last 24 months. Every day I go for a run, give or take, okay? But it's up to you. Unfortunately, no one can come to you and say, hey, today I'm going to inspire you. You've got to go out there and find that inspiration. And this is our organization. We look at inspiring people, motivating people, and giving you these tools to put your best foot forward.
We're going to leave you in England right now so that I can say goodbye to the kids before they walk out on me.
All right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor and a joy, and I thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for listening to me, and good luck with the rest of your academic year. All the very best. All right. Take care. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Yeah, I got to stop.